What do you guys think about when I say unique and exotic Disney cars? You're probably not thinking about typical sedans or pickup trucks, but you might be thinking about Celine Defare because of the fact that she's the only car in the entire Cars world that has their eyes in their headlights instead of the windshield, where every single other car has their own eyes. So that definitely sets Celine apart from basically everyone else, making her extremely unique and definitely exotic. So without any more further ado, let's get into today's suggestion video. Thank you for the suggestion, Noah Schmidt. I really do appreciate it. And if any of you out there would like to make a suggestion or a birthday request of your own, feel free to do so. I encourage it, but I do ask that you watch this video on how to make a proper suggestion. There's a link to it in the description below right at the top, so you cannot miss it. Please just watch that video before making a suggestion or a B-Day request. And I believe that's all I have to say before we get into a review here of Celine Defare. So let's begin. I always thought of this as if a human had their eyes in their nostrils. I know, kind of disgusting, so I'll just move right along, but I had to say that. Anyway, you guys know how it works. ARR. Appearance, release, and review. So let's start with her appearance. She appeared in the second Cars movie in the Paris scene when Holly, Finn McMissile, and Mater traveled there to find Tom Bay to get some information. She was simply one of the vendors in the market that Tom Bay was found in. So here's kinda how the scene went. Celine was sleeping in her stall, so no one would have been able to tell if her eyes were in her headlights or not. So Mater is just strolling right along, and he comes up to Celine, wakes her up and says, "What are you selling?" And when she wakes up, obviously her eyes appear in her headlights instead of the windshield. So Mater freaks out and he's like, I'm good, I don't want headlights. And so he jets off really fast. So that's one example of how Disney Pixar added humor to the rather serious movie. Alright, let's move on to her release now. The most important thing about her release is the fact that she was a chase, meaning that she will never be re-released. So if you're waiting around for her to be released again, just stop and buy one on eBay or Amazon. I believe they sell for about $15 to $20 including shipping, so not too bad. And now let's get on with the specifics of her release. She was released in 2012 for the first Kmart Collectors event of that year. I believe it was in June, and she was one of the 2 exclusive cars for that event. The other one was Acer with Torch. However, he was not a chase, so we may see him pop up again, just like we saw Alexander Hugo with Party Hat return 2 years later. He was the exclusive for the fall 2012 event. And that's basically all for her release. The other exclusive cars for that event were some silver racers. The first one's actually McQueen, Francesco, Carla, Raul, Shu, and Jeff, I do believe. But of course, they have been released quite a few times since then, so not really exclusive. Alright, time for the review. So, obviously, the general appearance of her is pretty rusty and dirty, although I feel like she's more dirty than actually rusted, because if you look at her, it looks to be mud and dirt and whatnot, not really rust or oxidation. So I feel like a good car wash would really benefit Celine here. I do believe her car model is based on a hardtop Rene bonnet, and on her hood there is some sort of logo, most likely relating to her car model, but it is too small to read and really understand exactly what it is. We can also take a closer look at her headlights / eyes. Very, very interesting. They kind of look acrylic, but they're most likely just plastic inserts. And she does have a mouth plate, as you can see there. There is the line separating the main metal body from the plastic mouth plate. Now, on her tires here, we have some text. Very, very small, but let's see if I can read it if I put it up to my face. It looks to be Boulder Vit. Not really sure. It is extremely small and might be in French as well. So maybe one of my viewers in Canada or France could read that. Maybe Anthony Roy, because I know he does understand and speak French fluently. And I do like how the rims are very, very dirty, matching the rest of her body. Here's another piece of text I don't really understand. I believe it says Sportif, but I'm not sure. If anyone knows, please let me know. And on the back here, she does have a license plate that reads CUR10SIT3. And I was reading somewhere that this is supposed to resemble the French word for curiosity. So that's pretty cool indeed. And if you're interested in seeing the base, here you go. Decent amount of information, but not as much as the current releases in 2016. I just love all the mud splatter all over her. It just really makes her seem like a very old and dirty car, but like I was saying earlier, I think if she got a car wash, she would look a lot cleaner, but probably not new, but still probably look a little bit better and maybe not a scary tomato. One other thing that I like about her is that some angles you can see through her windows there, just like you did in the movie. In the movie, you actually saw a steering wheel and seat. So that's another unique thing about her indeed. Now, Noah Schmidt wanted me to compare Celine to a couple cars. First, Justin Parton, who's another vendor in the French market, so that's how they are related. He was released earlier this year and is a very, very small car. Obviously, their models are not similar at all, but they are both vendors of items at the market. Pretty cool. And they both have French license plates there, which is supposed to be like the long European or Australian design. I actually have a couple license plates from different countries. I do have a Canadian one from like Quebec and a Australian one, I do believe. So I really do like collecting license plates because, you know, get one from each state and you can kind of make a cool display out of it. But getting back on topic, Noah also wanted me to compare Celine to Leland Turbo because they are kind of similar in model. As you can see, they're about the same size. Celine is a little bit bigger, actually, and Celine is actually a pretty big car. Here we have Mater for comparison. I mean, to Mater, not too big, but, you know, she is actually a pretty bulky car. So, in comparison to Leland here, who is a Jaguar, about the same size. Celine's a little bit longer. Celine's also, maybe they're about the same width, but they're still pretty similar. Very, very nice cars. I really do like both of these. I just wish that Leland didn't die in the first movie. And here we go with David Hobbscat. This is the car that I personally want to compare because he is also a Jaguar and they do have similar models. So here they are. And they also have this thing in the back with this like silver bar. I do not know how to explain it, but that is one similarity that they do have in common. You can see that they both have that little silver bar feature. And moving on to Gertrude, another French rusty car, but she is not a vendor. She is actually just like a tourist. Maybe she's actually American, but probably not because she's a Citroën and has a French license plate. But she and her husband Ludwig were getting a mural painted of them, making them look young, even though they look old. So that's irony and humor for the movie again. Now, I had to show Fabrizio because people might be thinking, hey, there's actually another car that doesn't have eyes. Well, Fabrizio does have eyes. They're in there. Now on the camera, you might not be able to see them because of the reflection, but if you see him in person, you can see through his black shades. Sunglasses? Yes, those are supposed to be sunglasses, that he does indeed have eyes. So, just had to clarify that. FYI, I have to mention this because Fabrizio is here. I have to say this. If you want to buy him, buy one in the package or one that you know is 100% legit, because from China, they are making counterfeit fake ones for like $5. So you can probably get a counterfeit one if you don't really care, but if you are aiming to get a real one, just be cautious of that. So, that is all for my review of Celine de Fer. Thank you for the suggestion, Noah Smith, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you all enjoyed this review as well. Thank you for watching. I do have a couple things to say before we end off the video. First of all, some of you were curious as to why I am making a review entirely spoken in Spanish on Friday. Well, there are plenty of Cars fans who only know how to speak Spanish and don't know how to speak English. Now, I happen to understand both languages to a certain extent, so I thought it was a good idea to make a review entirely spoken in Spanish for those people who don't understand English, but they do understand Spanish. So I hope you guys like the idea as well, and there will be English subtitles if you want to tune into the review as well. So I just wanted to state my purpose there because I was unclear when I announced it in my video on Tuesday. Second, I will be doing a speculation video for a lot of new Cars 3 stuff. There's been a lot of news about this week thanks to Take 5 a Day. They've been announcing a bunch of new characters, 2-packs, singles, and deluxe and whatnot. So I will be making a video about that thanks to Take 5 a Day letting me do so. And I just wanted to say one name. The King is back. Alright guys, bye now.